Welcome to Uppermill. We're here in the epicentre of Saddleworth to talk to local business owners to understand how they've adapted through lockdown, what changes they've made, and also what they're looking forward to in the future. Obviously, loads more people are buying online, plus the pandemic, so we're really here to see how they've adapted, what they've changed, and really what they're looking forward to. First of all is Kobe. Let's take a look. Hi Connie, thanks for joining us today. We're sat in Kobe. Great to see you that you're back in business. What steps have you sort of put in place to adjust to lockdown?
Obviously we got shut down, and then we had this massive window at the front of the coffee shop that we thought if we opened that, we'd be able to do just takeaway coffee without anyone having to actually come inside. We got such a warm welcome from everyone being like, oh, coffee, can I get a coffee that's not an instant one from home? So that was the first step, and it worked really well. We just built from there.
Connie, how have you sort of adapted the seating arrangements, obviously to open business to the public?
Yeah, so we've taken out a table, 3 tables, 4 tables. We've taken out quite a few tables. So we've got 3 tables in here now that are distanced, with a couple on the breakfast bar at the back, just to sort of keep it so it doesn't get too crowded. We managed to buy some kind of screen, so we've gone and bought things like this from the Dobcross Garden Centre, which is support local and everything. Lovely. But it's we just wanted to make anyone that came in feel comfortable without it being just full of plastic screens and things like that. So,
and how does service work, Connie, at the moment? Sort of obviously as you've adapted.
Yeah, so now we have to do table service, which is something we didn't do before. So that's a new logistic thrown in there. So we opened 7th of December last year and had a good 3 months of business, and before it all got shut down. So it was actually quite nice to be able to open for 3 months and then stop, reassess, see how it went, like learn some lessons that we learned. Like, it's the first business that we've opened coffee shop wise, so we learned a lot, and it's almost a bit of a reset, which has been brilliant. It's given us some time to think and plan and sort of think of next steps and things like that. Last weekend was the first time we've actually welcomed people back inside, which was weird. It was weird seeing people come through the door and be like, oh hi, are you coming in? But it went down really well. We did a lot of work with making sure that it was safe and that we'd measured lots of different ways that we could put the tables, but also keep the takeaway hatch open as well, because we were talking to quite a few of the regulars and sort of saying, no, we're not quite ready yet, and we'll leave it a few weeks. So we kept the window going so people don't actually have to come inside. This sort of lockdown and being able to speak to everyone and everyone gradually reopening, I have felt like a really, really good sense of community, and I've got to know a lot more of the business owners and things like that, and it's been really, really nice. I was so nervous when we first opened the window. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Are people going to be unhappy and not like it? But it's been brilliant, and everyone is so smiley when they're like, oh, please can I have a coffee? I can't wait to have a coffee. And it's just giving them their daily treat, because at the start it was when you could just go for one walk, you could then have somewhere to walk to, get a coffee and then walk home, and everyone really liked that.
Okay, so our next stop is Sorella. It's literally next door, and it's a local little Italian business. Let's take a look.
So during the lockdown, it was a real transition period for us. I think obviously all of the restaurants closing down. At first, we was like, yay, we're closing down, and it felt like a holiday at the time for us. We had to really sit down and think about how we could obviously deliver our food to people's home exactly the same as having it at the restaurant. We are still continuing as a takeaway, but hopefully we will be looking to open very soon for customers, having them guidelines in place. Now when we do come to open again, people will still have the choice of having a takeaway or dining with us at the restaurant. I've always wanted to open a restaurant in Uppermill. I think for me, I've lived, breathed Uppermill for a very long time, and I love the community. So the minute we found out that obviously this was up for sale, I was like, right, we're gonna get this. And we was really excited because we've been looking for ages to open one here, and hopefully we will look to extend as well. That isn't on the agenda, and I want it to be the place that everyone loves to come here. I've had opportunities to be able to open it in Manchester, but it was never a place that I would ever do. I think for smaller businesses, especially for Sorella, I always thought that a community like this is definitely worth having, because you build a relationship with each individual customer, and for me that is key. I love building a relationship with everyone that comes in that door. We're such a small restaurant, so we can't allow everyone to come in. We always try and advise people to go for a drink somewhere else if, you know, tables are running behind, which is always the case. But I've always tried to build a relationship with all of the businesses. I think it's key, it's important, because these businesses, it's all about word of mouth, really.
Okay, so we've just come over the road from Sorella and we've got a brand new restaurant called Slice, and it's just opened a couple of weeks after lockdown has eased. Let's check it out.
We're sat here now in Slice. That's just opened. So we've used the kind of, it's over 3 months in it, to up our game really, and make sure that when customers are coming back out that they're getting a new experience, and that it's something that they can, you know, they can get involved in and enjoy even more so, and feel safe and secure, but obviously being able to relax the way that they were able to before. We did a bit of a pop-up here just before the end of lockdown, doing the burgers and stuff outside, and people loved it, and you know, everything's homemade, and it's all using kind of local supplies for the stuff, and so it's gone down really well, or seems to have at the minute. So yeah, we've been happy with that. I was probably more nervous reopening the week that's just gone than I was when we opened for the first time. You know, because there's a lot of responsibility, I think, that, you know, to make sure people are safe. We've had a lot of discussions with licensing, with the local council, with environmental health. We work with a health and safety company to make sure that everything was in line. And the idea was to try and find a happy medium between, you know, a safe and relaxing environment in all three places, and still be able to kind of adhere to the guidelines and make sure you still feel like you're having a night out. Because if that's not the case, then you're not going to come out. When you look at the places that have come along, you know, they're all quality. You know, even just across the road from us, we've got the Wagon, you've got the Granby, you've got Weaver and Wild, you've got Sorella, you've got Colby. That's within, you know, probably 50 yards, and there's not many areas outside of a city centre that have the numbers around here, and you know what, I think a lot of people now are starting to appreciate that in the area, and everywhere's a little bit different. You know, the Air and Hounds, I know Dave and Les, you've got Abaco, Dinnerstone, Rioja, Commercial. You've got all these places that I'll be forgetting some, so I apologise. There's that many. But all the shops, all the little independent shops that have opened, it's great. And that's what I mean. You can come here and have a real kind of day and night out. And I think that's it. It's a destination place. You've got the canal, you've got everything. So yeah, I think that most people around here would say that they've got a bit of a gem, and obviously we're hoping now with opening here and reopening Muse that we can add to that and keep people kind of coming to the area.
So next up is the Cake Kitchen. We've got amazing reviews. Let's go and take a look. Thanks very much, Felicity, for joining us today. What kind of steps did you take to adjust your business really to lockdown?
Everyone used to come in this door, so I had to change it so everyone was coming in through this one and then out. So it was like a one-way system. And then I did just put crosses on the floor, but I feel like people weren't really looking at them. They didn't really notice. Then I got these signs saying, please stand here. So I already was set up for takeout, already had boxes and takeout cups, and the counter is just the same as it always was. So it was just the entrance and exit and moving the tables. I'm gonna get all new furniture for outside, so it's all built in. Other than that, like beforehand, I had like baby book club on a Friday, so it's things like that I really miss and just want to bring back. Everyone has kind of like made friends and that from it, so we'd all sit round like all different tables and chat, and I love the cafe, so I definitely like can't wait for it to come back, but I don't want it to kind of come back half-heartedly. I want it to come back and be as it was, and the same sort of like vibes and stuff. Yeah.
How would you say the community's been sort of in lockdown?
Brilliant, like actually amazing. Like everyone's been so nice and so supportive. I feel like round here, it's been like that for a while. I think people really are good at like shopping local and supporting all their local small businesses and that, because I mean Uppermill especially I just think is so lovely. Like we've got so many good small independent businesses, and they only survive because all of the locals come and shop in them. So I just do cakes, I don't do food and things, so I never feel like other cafes are competition. They're there for another reason, so people might come in and be like, do you have sandwiches? And I'll be like, no. And it's not like, oh no, maybe that's something I should do. I'm like, no, because you can get them from these places, you know, or like, well, what is it that you're after? Because if you want, you know, a jacket potato, you should go there. If you want a bacon batty, you should go there. Do you know, like I feel like everyone has their different thing, like what they're good at.
Our next stop is Star and Bean. It's a small boutique selling children's clothing that's ethically sourced and really high quality. Let's check it out.
The main things I suppose that we've been considering here is making sure there's not too many people in the shop at the same time and that people can keep their distance from each other. So we are limiting how many people come in. Also hand sanitizer, which I've placed everywhere so that people can use it. It's, you know, it's free, don't need to bring your own. And then of course, like, I'm always here to help people. If they'd rather not touch anything and they want me to do it for them, then that's fine too. I think it's really difficult when you're running a small business because you're in it all the time. And it's one of those situations where you're so in the business, you can't see what you're doing. And it's been such an amazing opportunity in a way. I suppose every cloud has a silver lining, to step away from it, to think about why you started it, where you want to go with it, what your kind of goals are in the business. When it comes to kind of ethics and about where things are made and how planet friendly they are and how people friendly they are, we have to tread really carefully because in the fashion industry, which includes children's wear, it's really difficult to trace that all back and be confident about how kind your products are. But I'm definitely invested in finding out more about it, in ensuring and asking the questions of my suppliers about what the products are made of, where the products are made. I don't see how you can have the same kind of community and the same personal relationships with your customers because we've not got like a huge amount of footfall. So you generally you're holding on to customers and you're building relationships with them. And for me, they might come in with a bump and then they might come back when the baby's born in the pram, and then, you know, they'll come back regularly through the years and you know them and you're watching the babies grow up and you know what kind of things they like and what might appeal to them. We actually made the decision to close the shop before we were told to, but for then those customers to carry on shopping online and to make that switch. And I've been up and down to people's houses and dropping things off and, you know, repeatedly through lockdowns. So that's been really lovely. We have great relationships with the other businesses, and I mean, we shop with each other a lot as well, so that's really nice. We know each other and we've built friendships with each other and we support each other, collaborate when we can. I've collaborated with a few other businesses in the village, and we can show that actually we do want to work together, and it's not just my shop and your shop, it is our village.
Thanks for watching our first series. For more details on Saddleworth, check out our social. Just search Visit Saddleworth online. Cheers.